Welcome back, YouTube. I had a special request for a XRP update. Thank you so much, Sasha Pinkpaws, for requesting that. And there are a few concerning things that we do need to address about XRP, especially on the larger time frames. My name is Lane, you're watching Road Dog Crypto, and we're talking about XRP today. Road Dog Crypto. Well, guys, let's just get right on into it. Looking at the weekly for XRP, you see we got our EMAs coming in right here. Our green line is our 9 weekly EMA, and the red one is the 21. And you can see that they're kind of mushing up together there. What we don't want to see is for this red one to cross over that green one, because that is going to be a very bearish signal for us. So they can go along together and kind of separate. We want to see the red one stay above the top one, but this level is coming in at just a little over 44 cents, about 44.4 cents. That's the area that we definitely need to hold on a weekly basis. We don't want to see us close a candle below that point. I want to draw your attention here to Market Cipher, because we've just printed a weekly red dot here. We have stochastics, which are now turning and headed downward. We also have money flow, which is coming down, and we have VWAP, which has just now crossed the zero line, and that's why we have the red dot here on Market Cipher. Our RSI is still also in bearish territory. It needs to get above 50 for me to be feeling more bullish about that. And our MACD is starting to round off a little bit. Our histogram is starting to come down, and we're starting to get some bearish curving on our moving average lines right there. But to get more information and to get more precise on this, we'll go to the daily, and then we'll go down to some smaller time frames. But the biggest thing that I want to point out here on the daily, what we have got to do for this to be bullish is break above this 200 daily EMA, which is at 47.2 cents. If that cannot happen, then we are looking for more downward action out of XRP. Indicators on the daily are pointing a little bit toward the downside too. Stochastics are coming down to reset, so there's some downward selling pressure going on right now. One thing that looks to be going in our favor is the curving, kind of a bottoming here on the MACD, which is kind of indicating there might be a slowdown here. There may be a hitch. There is a chance that we might get a bounce somewhere soon in this area. So keep your fingers crossed that this blue line will cross over this red line on the daily MACD, and the histogram will flip over from red to green. That would be a great sign that we're looking for.
If you just stumble across the channel, it's probably because somebody hit that like button before. And for those of you who hit that like button, comment, and subscribe, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
But since we're here on the daily, let's go over the bigger picture scenario, okay? Because this is part of an accumulation pattern. And although my indicators are saying that we may get a drop down, let's take a look at what's really going on according to a more Wyckoff theory. So for the longest time, we were trading in this range, and that was an accumulation zone. That's where a lot of big money had piled back in to XRP. Now, by Wyckoff theory, we're waiting eventually to get a breakout and retest these zones. And once we get a breakout out of that, things are looking a lot more bullish. And then we come back and we retest this area, which we did once there. We retested that area right here and did not come down as far. So what could possibly be happening is that we are coming back to this area about 41 cents, possibly down as low to retest this area right here around 39 cents. And things should actually be bullish after that, in my opinion, from how I've seen this stuff play out before in the past. And we could get a bounce from either one of these areas and start coming up, but it could be looking a little bit scary until that happens. What we want to keep our eye out for, and I don't foresee this being a problem anytime soon, but we want to keep this yellow line above the white one, right? We don't want to see those crossed, and I don't see a sign of those crossing anytime soon. In fact, the other lines, the 9, the 21, and the 50 have both crossed bullishly over this 100 moving average, so that's good. It may just, on a possibility, just be a retest of this 50-day EMA right here. That's a bullish sign to get a bounce off of there. So if we do see that, that's good. But the biggest thing we got to keep our eye out for is this area right here at 47 cents. We need to get above that and hold it. And then things are looking golden for there. We've got to get above this yellow 200-day EMA. Now, pattern-wise, we are in a symmetrical triangle, which can also be a bull flag, and that does have a measured move for a flag, which would bring us up to an actually take profit zone that we have, which is Fibonacci level 1618, right up here at 70 cents. So that's Confluence saying that that is a possible move to actually make it up there. But all this depends largely on how Bitcoin and the total market too perform. There does seem to be a a strong possibility to get up to that point as long as we break and hold above this 200 EMA. Now there's also a bearish pattern that is trying to come into play within this symmetrical triangle, and we need to talk about that. So let's go down to the 4 hour to take a closer look there. So one thing that I am keeping my eye out for is this right here, which is making possible head and shoulders pattern on the larger time frame. And this bottom trend line right here of this kind of symmetrical triangle shape would be the neckline, and it appears to be valid. Now, should this happen, and if it breaks out of that trend line, does a retest, we could be looking at these lower levels right here around 32.7, 32.8 cents. Also, there's another measure move for this whole pattern, which comes in right around the same zone, but let's go ahead and let's take that move as well. And that would put us down to this lower area of our range, which would be just right around 30 cents. So that's also some confluence. So we really got to see how we play with this pattern. If we can break above this, look out for a retest, because that will happen about 64 to 68% of the time with this particular pattern, and get a bounce from that. As long as we are above that 200 daily EMA, even staying above the 200 on the 4 hour would be a good sign. We have a chance to get momentum to reach these higher targets around 61 up to 72 cents. However, if we break down below this line, we're looking for more downside, and that would be an area to consider shorting or selling, getting out of a trade, and then buying back in at these lower levels of about 32.5 cents, even on down possibly to 30 cents. So we've got to watch this area right here. That is key to figuring out what the next move for this is. But it is highly likely, just with its current structure, that it could get a bounce right here in this area, because that is support. We could be seeing a support resistance slip. So if you're trying to look for an entry point, if you get a confirmation, we get a bounce from there, this is a good point to get in. If you're shorting, this would be the first place I would look at for taking profit. This would be the second place I would look at for taking profit. These symmetrical triangles are widely known for doing fake outs. It's possible to see a breakout to the upside and then slam back down to the bottom. And with the price movement that we're seeing around this FMOC, we see that happen a lot. So be cautious about that. This is a tricky pattern, in my opinion, to trade, and it's one best just to wait for confirmation of where a price movement is. For instance, wait for the actual bounce here before making a move to get back in, wait for a bounce down here, or wait for a retest up here to show that we're actually moving that way and that this is not a fake out. So a little tricky to trade. Got conflicting information with a bearish pattern, but also some bullish indicators here too. But just remember, the weekly time frame will trump them all. The weekly is suggesting that we will get some downward action, whether it is down to 38.40 cents or down to 30 to 32 cents. We will just have to wait and see. Until next time, my name is Lane, your Crypto Road Dog. Hoping this information has been helpful to you. If you have any coin requests or any questions at all regarding technical analysis, feel free to leave a comment, drop a line. Until I see you again, be blessed, trade carefully, and remember, you got this.
You like what you see. Well then, please subscribe, eh? And if you like what we do, then smash that like button too. And if you like to drag it down, leave a comment down below.